think it's all. And it's fucking fun to shoot Nazis, man. World War II games need a resurgence.
1 second.
I saw you in the middle.
It's alright, what's up?
I was going to get you washing.
Alright, yeah.
Is that it?
Is this special guest?
Special guest, yeah, our father's walked in.
Who's this, your man?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, man, what's he been playing this week?
What have you been playing this week, Dad?
Me belling.
He says he's better. Well,
Well, as long as it's his.
Well, that's not getting cut. That might be the intro. Ladies and gentlemen from around the world, welcome once again to the GameSlagz podcast, episode 2.
Yeah.
The world didn't believe we'd get here, but
The sequel's never as good.
It's never as good. My name is Christopher Newell. I think I might have already mentioned that, but I haven't mentioned that I've had 2 lunches today and my stomach is doing somersaults. I can expect the rusty water shits later, which is going to be lovely. I had no choice in that matter. My brother bought me... I had just eaten chicken nuggets and salad. And my brother came home and he brought me a Subway. And it was the Italian BMT one, which I think for most people is bowel-tearingly delicious. Do you know what I mean?
Does your brother
you
often
smashed them
force
both
meat
up.
into your mouth?
On occasion, especially when I'm asleep. It's really hard, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, today...
Incest. You can only get it here on this podcast.
Today I'm joined once again by the wonderful Daniel Savage,
Hello.
otherwise
I'm
known as
Chris-
Joe
Oh, sorry.
Wilkinson.
I look nothing like Joe Wilkinson.
And it's,
Chris, I'm in a really good mood today, actually. In fact, I am rock hard because today, on the day we were recording, Fallout Shelter has finally come out for Android.
I know.
And I'm well excited to play this game.
You all can play it for 3 days non-stop and then realise that it's a very shallow game and put it down and never pick it up again.
Well, the wife played it on her iPhone for weeks and weeks. If anything, it will be something to distract me from staring at women on the underground. So that's a bonus.
But that's a plus for everybody involved.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also joined by the wonderful Owen Guerin.
Hello, sir.
How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, not bad. Slightly hungover. It was a late night of drinking vodka and playing games of tabletop creations and computer games. It was good, but slightly hanging now.
Yeah. It's never a good thing. I always suffer from the backwards hangover I do, which is one of the reasons I don't drink. I actually get hungover as I'm drinking. Like I get the headache, especially with beer. Like 2 beers in, I'll start getting a headache, and I have to drink through it, and it's not pleasant. So let's start with what we've been playing this week. This week I'm going to pick Dan first. What have you been playing, my friend?
My friend, I have been playing a very, very nice walking game. Everybody's gone to the Rapture.
This is Dr. Catherine Collins. I don't know if anyone will ever hear this. It's all over. I'm the only one left.
It's been a lovely experience. It's basically it's basically a 6-hour-long episode of Emmerdale where nothing happens.
Yeah, that's to be expected from the Chinese room, I think, by now, surely.
You're not a fan? You didn't like Dear Esther?
I didn't. Well, you have your say on it first, and then I'll have my rebuttal prepared for afterwards. What did you think?
I
of it
really liked.
overall?
I really liked Dear Esther. I thought it was a really good-looking game. It was set in Scotland, but the story was very, very cryptic, very obscure. The story this time round is far less so. There's still a little bit of ambiguity around it. You sort of fill in the gaps yourself. But far less obscure than it was in Dear Esther. But just the setting just really stole it for me. Like, I can't remember the last time I just was walking around a game world and I was stopping and taking screenshots every 5 minutes. And I should explain. So it's set in a fictional English countryside village called Yalton. I'm not sure how they pronounce it.
Yeah.
And everyone has disappeared from this village. So it's an abandoned ghost village. And as you walk around, you'll find these little orbs of light and you interact with them, and these kind of ghostly apparitions of the people who were there will kind of converse and give away little nuggets of information, and you try and piece together what happened. It's just a fascinating place to be because, I was living in the countryside for a couple of years, and it really brought back memories for me, and it's really refreshing to have such a really English setting and one that they've absolutely nailed. I said to you guys earlier in the week, I went on a shorter walk the day that I played that, just because I felt like I'd had my walk going around there.
It does look stunning.
Oh, it looks amazing.
It looks absolutely incredible. It's not it doesn't run brilliant. Like it definitely looks better in still shots than it does moving. The frame rate can die sometimes. Some of the textures are very muddy if you get up close, but just the amount of detail. I mean, this is an abandoned world, but just the amount of detailing, like items you'd expect to find in a bedroom being there.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to. I don't think it's too much of a plot spoiler.
But why is the screen rate so bad if there's fuck all there? Like what?
I suppose it's just trying to render because it's quite a big game. It's relatively semi.
Yeah, it's a big old loading time. The loading time must be about a minute and a half long. And obviously there's no loading times once you're in the game.
Of course, yeah.
And the amount of detail and it's fascinating. I highly recommend it. I'm really loving my time there. It's not for everyone. Last week I was complaining about the lack of gameplay in what the fuck was I complaining about? Game of Thrones, like the Telltale game.
Yeah.
And so being the big bag of fucking contradictions that I am, I'm really enjoying this. But it is a walking simulator.
Yeah.
But it's not pretending to be anything else like fucking Telltale is.
Well, that's
There's no pretense. Like we knew this what it was before the game came out, especially if you've played their previous games.
Yeah.
I've never played Amnesia because I don't like horror games. I don't like shitting myself. Because I don't wear pants, so that means I need new trousers every time I shit myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like, I do have respect for the Chinese Room, who are the developers of Dear Esther, Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, which is the second in the series, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
oh, did they not do the first one?
No,
I don't know.
I think it was one guy who did the first one, and for whatever reason he didn't do the second, and it got slated for being a Chinese Room game where it's more walking than actual interaction. And that's the thing with Chinese Room. Like I've said it like on numerous Facebook posts now. I do respect the company for having staying power, but I don't like their games at all. I thought Dear Esther. I said it to you, Dan. I think Dear Esther at the time and now was probably the most pretentious game I've ever played. Just simply because. And I imagine it's quite similar in Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It feels like I'm not a part of the world. It feels like I'm sort of along for the ride. Like it's a museum piece. Like you said, it's a gorgeous game, and so was Dear Esther, even to this day. Like, it's still a beautiful looking game. But it's just, I feel like I'm a tourist in the world as opposed to, being welcomed in there with interaction and stuff like that. Traditional games, it's all about mechanics and stuff. And I'm not saying you can have those sort of different experiences, but there's games like the Stanley Parable, which do the same thing, kind of, but involve you in the world still. Everything, it makes you feel at home within the world.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture does a really good job. Even though the village is abandoned, you can almost imagine people there. And so the cast of characters is maybe about 10, 12 characters at most.
Yeah.
And you kind of get to know them fairly well and things that have happened to them.
Yeah.
And because the ghostly apparitions sort of appear in the village,
Yeah.
Even though it's a really empty place, it feels a lot more alive. And I mean, I'm really enjoying my time being there, but it's very, very slow. Like you say, a walking simulator isn't inherently a bad game.
No.
Like you said, the Stanley Parable, and Gone Home. Gone Home is a good example.
Exactly.
But with Gone Home, it's exactly the same. You kind of piecing together what happened, but it's in a very short. It's in a house.
Yeah.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is really slow, really painfully slow, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that because I'm enjoying being there. But I can see that getting rage induced. And the thing is, you kind of walk it's open world. There's no loading times, but you kind of guided down a set path sort of thing.
Yeah.
If I have to do any backtracking, I haven't reached the end yet. If I have to backtrack at all, though, that might piss me off.
But yeah, Owen, what have you been playing this week?
I have been playing with dead corpses.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, I told you we'd get to necrophilia.
No, I've literally recently, within the last half an hour, just completed Spyro 3, 100%. All
Nice.
gems, all dragon eggs, done and done. I can now delete that off my memory.
Sound like a virgin.
Yeah, totally. More importantly, I've been smashing up some Bloodborne.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire?
Oh,
Weird.
Good lads.
Daniel Savage.
Yes.
Mate, what a fucking game. Like, I feel like I needed Daniel to kind of speak into my ear over a headset, not like that Dan literally sat in the room with me and was kind of whispering soft words into my ear about the game. But it was kind of like that, actually. I quite enjoyed it. But it was just for an outside eye to be like, right, this is what you need to do. This is kind of how the style is. Because as you kind of probably worked out from talking about Rapture, I can't handle slow gameplay. Like, I have to run in all guns blazing and just try and smash the fuck out of everything I can. Get the biggest gun and kick the fuck out the biggest thing I can.
Yeah.
Bloodborne destroys you for that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it doesn't give you any leeway at all. So you make one mistake, you're dead.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can feel that you're doing well, and you make one little mistake and you're dead.
Yeah.
But like, it's just brilliant. Like, I even love the fact that we used a what did we do? When I was at my house, we played Bloodborne, and I killed the first boss. Then when I went to Daniel's house last night, it didn't save my game to the cloud, so we had to play the boss again. So this time we used the beckoning bell just to see what it did. That shit's fucking awesome. Like, having another dude turn up and then like you do a little bow to him, he bows to you, and then you kick the fuck out of someone.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
It shows that there's still a little bit of work to do though for newcomers to the series though, because it took me to kind of sit down with Owen and kind of explain, okay, how this game works. You sort of have to deprogram your brain about everything you've learned about games in the last 10 years. Because like Owen said, if you go into this like you play God of War, you're going to die very, very quickly. And
it's not feeling ashamed to call yourself a dick. Like, instead of trying to fight the same person 8 times and just letting the rage take over to the point where you're ready to smash something up, you just kind of have to go, right, what am I doing wrong? Like, this is I am the problem that I keep dying. So what am I doing wrong? As opposed to being like, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm coming to get ya.
That's right. It's hard to get angry when it's your fault you died, isn't it? Dark Souls 2, there was a problem in that game where there was there were some moments where the enemies would just gank you. There were just so many enemies, and it's like an artificial difficulty, and that felt really unfair and cheap. And the thing at Dark Souls and Bloodborne, the reason that it can get away with being so difficult is because it's fair. If you take that fairness away, then it just becomes frustrating and just shit, basically.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, well, just getting constantly caned by like huge dudes, like that. For me, like, one boss is hard enough, yet alone trying to fight. Well, that video you showed me the other day of you fighting like three ghost things at once. I'm not looking forward to that boss. I think that boss is gonna fuck me right.
Nah, you'll smash it, mate.
That is one of the harder ones in Bloodborne. I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm about 8 bosses in or something, and that was one of the harder ones. A lot of people said Vicar Amelia is the hardest, but I beat her in one. My proudest moment in gaming.
Yeah, it's weird the way Bloodborne work and Dark Souls work like that, because the first 2 bosses, so the Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne, I killed on my first go. And people say they really struggled with Father Gascoigne, and I think I just got lucky. And then I got to the Vicar Amelia, I really struggled with, and all of my friends were saying that was the easiest boss they've had so far.
Yeah.
And it's just, it depends on your playstyle how bosses will go down for you. And sometimes bosses can be kind or unkind by not doing certain moves and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you're enjoying Bloodborne now, though, because it's not the kindest game to get into. It's not easy.
No, but I love it. I kind of see it for what it is now, as opposed to when I first started playing the game and thought, this game's just difficult for the sake of being difficult. Like, it's just apocalyptically hard.
Well, this is it.
Probably didn't help that I was trying to do the first fucking level without any weapons at all. Like, that probably did hinder my progression.
Well,
and Borderlands 2, I bought that at the same time. And
oh yeah, you can't. I love Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but Borderlands 2 takes precedence. But yeah, with Dark Souls and specifically Bloodborne, I think, well, actually, no, it's relevant to all of them. There's no real learning curve. There's a learning wall for beginning players. And once you knock the wall down, you're the same as everybody else then, and you're in the same position. And that's one of the beauties of the game, really. It's just it's so well engineered, specifically 1 and Bloodborne.
I said this to Owen yesterday. That first area, Yarnum, is such a massive hurdle, especially if you haven't played the Souls games and stuff. And I said to Owen, if you can get past this bit, you can beat the whole game. Definitely. It doesn't get harder really as such. You get some tricky bosses and things, but if you can beat that first area, you can beat Bloodborne. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah.
I was hard.
I've been playing this week. Well, I'm only going to talk about one game specifically because the other two I've only been playing for 2 hours at a time. I played The Fall, which is a PS4 exclusive as far as I'm aware, and I played Vanishing of Ethan Carr. But like I said, not really going to talk about them. I'm going to finish them first and then give my verdict probably next week or the week after. But last night I thought I'm going to test, because I just bought a new Mac, so I thought I'm going to test the graphics card, see if it actually isn't half decent at all. And I downloaded Bioshock Infinite.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. That was the deal. The details elude me now. But the details wouldn't change a goddamn thing.
The reason I decided to play Bioshock Infinite specifically is because I watched the trailer again, and the comments below, like, there's a sort of, it sort of woke me up to the sort of one of the biggest problems with gamers in general, and it's that they're fixated on generalisation and putting everything into boxes. It's like, people either think Bioshock Infinite is fan-fucking-tastic and the best game ever made, or it's a pile of absolute dog shit. And I can get along more with the people who think it's the best game ever made, because I actually do think it's really fucking good and I love it.
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but the other people think it's a bad game and hate it, but it isn't a bad game. I'm fine with people not liking it. You don't have to like any video game, even if it doesn't matter how many people tell you it's good. But saying it's a bad game is going too far. You might not agree with the structure of the narrative or the way the gameplay fits into the, what's it called, pseudo-narrative dissonance or ludonarrative dissonance, is that what it's called?
You're just making stuff up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Chris. Of course, Chris.
And I can understand there's a lot of problems with that, but I mean, I played it twice within the first 2 weeks that it came out. Played it first time, sort of understood the story, then went through it a second time to try and understand it a little bit better. Still thought it was just as good. And even now, I'm about 3 hours in, and I just think it's a fantastic game. It's not my favourite of the series. I think for everybody really involved, Bioshock 1 is probably still the strongest in terms of a narrative experience. The second one, unarguably, I think, is the better game, as in how it plays, the gameplay, mechanics and stuff. I think the first one is still universally accepted as the best, but I think Infinite is a worthy second place there. I don't think the mechanics are quite as good as 1 or 2, in fact, but I think they make a lot of sacrifices for the narrative. And a lot of people say that Columbia doesn't feel... It doesn't feel natural enough. There's not enough people. But my argument is that there's enough people because it was made for the Xbox 360 and PS3. They couldn't have done any more than that. They had a graphical style and they wanted to implement that. And you can't have NPCs. It's not fucking Assassin's Creed Unity. Do you know what I mean? You know, there were limitations on the hardware, even so late on into the console cycle. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a fantastic game, and I just don't agree with all the negativity that surrounds it. Like I said, it's cool if you don't like it, that's fine, but calling it a bad game is nonsense. It's not a bad game. Plus I'm a little bit of a Ken Levine fanboy, so take my bias as you will.
I enjoyed Bioshock Infinite a lot. I thought it was really fantastic. I think the gunplay is the main problem. I just don't think it's that much fun. Like I think like I don't think it's tight enough.
I mean, Irrational, they haven't done anything since, so, but Irrational have always, even in the first game, it's always been more about, they don't create shooting arenas, they create environments that feel really cool to be in once the shooting is over. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool to look around the environments and stuff and get totally, soak in the atmosphere. Once the shooting's done, it's almost like it's a second thought. They'd throw the shooting in there just to sort of fill it out a little bit.
I was just going to bring it back in the circle back to Bioshock, just to echo what you said. I think Bioshock is the better one, and then Infinite. And I never played Bioshock 2 because to me it seemed like the most pointless sequel of all time. So
It's totally redundant. I mean,
It kind of gave the player a chance to be a big daddy.
essentially,
That was kind of it, really. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really. It was answering questions that didn't really need to be asked,
Well,
like
that's it.
about
I mean,
kind of who they are and what they do.
Rapture. Well, Bioshock and Rapture, because Bioshock is Rapture essentially, the first game. It's such a well-crafted story and environment, and it was done by the end of it. It's like The Last of Us,
Absolutely.
like
I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
yeah, it's so well crafted. It's crafted for those characters,
Absolutely.
and it was a needless sequel. And I love the DLC to Bioshock Infinite. If either of you have not played it,
I have not. I want to.
It's really, really good because it goes back to Rapture. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It basically tells you how to do this without spoiling things. It doesn't. It's not a sequel. It's kind of a prequel, but it ties Bioshock. It basically shunts Bioshock 2 out the way and says, "No, you're not the sequel. This DLC is the fucking sequel, and this isn't even a sequel."
Yeah, I mean, Bioshock. As far as I'm concerned, Bioshock Infinite is Bioshock 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way as well. I mean, like I said, I don't think Bioshock 2 is a bad game at all. Really enjoyed it. Will always like it, but it's just pales in comparison to the first and Infinite, as far as I'm concerned. Now on to the news, ladies and gentlemen. News.
Something about news. News.
Well, I think the most prevalent piece of news, it's been a pretty dry week. I mean, where's a controversy when you need them? Christ, I want Kojima to do something stupid like kill himself just so we got something worthy to talk about.
Whoa. Fucking hell, son.
But yeah,
Christ.
the PS Plus price hike is probably just as big of a deal for some people. Idiots.
People don't like spending money, do they?
Yeah. Well, not idiots. I mean, it is. Well, what do you think about it, Dan? First of all, what do you think?
I'm not bothered. I think it's great. How much are we paying at the moment? Is it $5 a month?
I think it's a bit more than that. I think it's $5.99.
If you pay once a month, I mean, if you pay for 3 months or your year, it works out cheaper.
Yeah, it's
isn't
definitely
it?
cheaper.
Yeah,
if you
so
pay for
the
a
month
year.
is $5.49. The 3 months is $11.99, and the year is $39.99,
Thank God one of us has got the facts.
Yeah.
which is slightly cheaper than Xbox. Xbox for 1 month is $5.99, and for 3 months is $14.99.
Wow.
And
So if you pay £40 for a year, that's less than what's that, about £3.80. Anyone got a calculator? So for all your online stuff, your discounts on the store, and your however many free games you get a month, I think that's fucking reasonable. Actually,
it is.
But what they're trying to, like, they say they're raising it because they're keeping in line with market conditions, but they're also it kind of feels like they're bullying people into buying the year version. Well, I don't know if bullying is the right word, but if because the annual price is going to stay exactly the same. That's not going to change.
Right.
It's only the 1 and the 3 month
That's it.
fee that's going to change. Which means, like, if it's, what's that, 12 pounds times 4, what's that, £48. So you're already saving yourself.
Whoa, you're some sort of computer.
I know, right?
Stephen Hawking over here.
Fucking
So
hell,
you're
Rain
already
Man
saving
Owen.
yourself like £8 and 1 pence. So if they raise it a little bit more, is that going to be like, yeah, you have to buy the annual version because then you feel like you're gonna save even more money?
I mean, it's good for them if you commit to the annual version. It means you're the annual subscription. You obviously they get £40 in their pocket straight away, but also you're less likely to trade your console in
Well, this is
if
it.
you've your subscription on.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
sure.
it's like you say, if they're keeping the annual subscription the same, then I'm assuming we're not talking about a massive price hike here. I'm expecting to see an increase of £1.
Oh yeah,
It's the same way Netflix increased their price by £1.
indeed.
And over a month, who's going to notice £1?
Yeah, it's just inflation. Like, and it's true. Like they say it's, what was their quote? They say that it's in line with the market conditions, but everything's getting more expensive. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter how much it is, someone will complain. People will complain. Like, understandably, they will complain if it's like, give me an extra £500 a month. But even if it's like 50p to £1, people are still going to be like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know. And then, as Daniel just said, like, you're getting a lot of deals here, there, and everywhere. You get however many games for free a month. Like they're not always the best games, but
They're not free. But
yeah, it's a free game.
I've
Like,
been really happy with the quality of the games I've got. I've only been a PS4 owner for the last since when did Bloodborne come out? February. Was it February? So it wasn't. So the games I've got for free, I think, have been really good actually. Like,
well, this is it. Yeah, I mean, like you'd be entitled to have a problem with it if they provided a bad service and were saying they wanted to charge more for it. But it's a fucking brilliant service. I mean, the online connectivity isn't as good as Xbox's. It just isn't. It's not. It's a bit more of a piss take, I think.
well, Microsoft have a lot more experience in that regard.
Well, this
so
is it,
just as a company as a whole, their background, they've got much more experience dealing with internets and things.
Yeah. And it's just, I think it's a really good service, and to have a problem with it, and like you say, they haven't announced the price yet, but like you said, you can't imagine that it's going to be more than £1. And it's only for these, it's the month and 3-month subscriptions, isn't it?
yeah.
So, but my theory, I mean, Owen's doing something with his hair at the moment. It's very comical. But yeah, I think it might be in response to Microsoft's announcing that games are going to be backwards compatible for free. And I think it's something to do with that because like they obviously there was a big.
So it fucking should be.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
You shouldn't be paying for games you already own.
Yeah, I've already bought the fucking consoles. Like, if I want to play backwards compatible shit, let me.
I mean, the backwards compatible stuff. Sorry to take us off here, but like, I can't believe how much praise Microsoft are getting for something that should have been there from the fucking start.
Exactly. Yeah. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, fair play. They were the first ones to come out and do it, and obviously they've taken.
But the cheer they got at Gamescom.
Yeah,
it's like now you can play your games on your Xbox. We love you, Phil. Phil. Like, all right, calm down.
Yeah, it wasn't as big of a deal as I think people were making out, but it's still like it's what got me to buy an Xbox One. Like I went out pretty much the next day and bought one. I mean, it's not implemented yet; it comes in November, I think. And all the games aren't going to be there from the off. I think it's 100 games, and there's a voting system where you can vote on which games you want to get ported over. It's not even ported; it's just are available to
Hello.
play. Oh. Dan's taking a call live on the podcast. I think we've pretty much covered that. I mean, if you're complaining, like we said, they haven't announced the price hike yet. Could be massive. It probably, 99% isn't really going to be that big of a deal. Shut the fuck up. Stop complaining.
Even people who do complain will still pay it. So what I'm interested, if there's anyone out there that doesn't have a PS Plus subscription,
well,
I'm wondering, because I'm not a big multiplayer gamer, mostly because, well, people are wankers, aren't they? To be honest, like most people online are still dickheads.
That's why we play games. We want to be away from people. We don't want to be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's so many other good features. I think like me and Owen use SharePlay for the first time.
A fantastic
it's
service.
a fantastic
Oh my
piece
God.
of technology.
Yeah.
The fact he could hand his controller over to me. I thought, that's witchcraft as far as I'm concerned.
And it's really good as well. Like I've got a friend who lives over in Sweden, and I SharePlayed with him, and I took the controller off him because you can do that remotely. You can. Basically, for anyone who isn't aware, there's a person, say my friend in Sweden, he can be playing the game. When we SharePlay, his game will appear on my screen, and I can remotely take the controller off him and play it from my side. It's only for an hour, but there was no lag at all. It was seamless, and it's a brilliant service, and the fact that comes with it, you don't have to pay anything extra for it. It's brilliant.
Admittedly, my internet connection's not too great, so it kind of does that thing where it's like, oh, your internet connection's really slow. This is probably not wise to do. Still do it anyway?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember when Rocket League came out? The servers for that were a bit fucked, weren't they? They were a bit all up in the air.
Yeah.
And me and Owen couldn't actually connect just to play a game of Rocket League together. And the way we got around it was by doing it via SharePlay.
Right.
So we ended up managing to play in split screen via SharePlay, and it worked perfectly, right?
That's fucking brilliant. Oh, right. Yeah, we're done with that. Shut the fuck up, people. Stop complaining.
Tight bastards.
So voting for PS Plus games, this admittedly sounded better than it looks because you can only vote for one of the games, and assumedly isn't going
That's
to.
how voting usually works.
But there's usually several choices, isn't there, for PS4 and PS3 and Vita, and there's usually a headline one like Ground Zeroes or Rocket League, for instance, or Binding of Isaac, and there's 2 or 3 lesser ones, sometimes only one. Not lesser ones, not say they're lesser games, but ones that aren't quite as what's the word?
High profile.
Exactly, yeah. And you don't vote on the high profile one, as far as I can tell from this month's choice. Because if that's all we're getting this month, then fuck that.
If I'm just gonna get one of these games, I'd be pissed off. Like if they're gonna hike the price up, and I'm only gonna get one of these games I've had to pick. I mean, if anything, I don't know if we're getting there yet, but unless it's Grow Home, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like I'll pull out of that shit.
So maybe we should say the games that are.
Well, I've forgotten. Okay, so the 3 PS Plus games you can vote on. We've got Armello, Grow Home, and Zombie Vikings. A nice selection actually, because I think Armello's isn't it a tile strategy game?
Armello is, yeah. I think that's a little bit niche for a console game. It seems like a game I'd rather be playing on my PC.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that it's there because you always want a bit of variety, don't you?
Oh god, absolutely, yeah.
I don't know what Zombie Vikings is. Look from the image.
It's like a Zombie Vikings is like a hack and slash type game. It looks pretty decent actually.
It's like a 4-player kind of imagine Streets of Rage style, moving left and right and fighting shit, but as zombies. It was made by the same company that made Stick It to the Man.
Oh, last year that was a good game.
It doesn't interest me.
I mean, Grow Home. That's the one that stands out for me, and I get the feeling that Grow Home, for most gamers, that's going to be probably their number one choice.
Oh yeah.
But for the more casual players who maybe probably don't know any of them games, I've got to imagine that most people are going to click on a game that's called Zombie Vikings.
Oh yeah, the appeal lies in the name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think
I hope not.
I think in general it is like giving us. It's always good to have more choice, especially when it's something you pay for. I don't think have any of us got a problem with this. I don't imagine.
I think for consumers, I can't understand. Yeah, I can't really see a bad point. Really, you're given some choice, and we're not going to be getting less games as far as we know.
No.
But what it makes me wonder how these PS Plus game developers are compensated, because we've got a month to vote, a month before those games come out. Now we know we're going to be getting one of those games, so sales for them games are killed for a whole month. No one's going to buy those games if there's a chance you're going to be getting it for free in a month.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think Sony have said that the games that don't win will be getting they'll go on sale, so we'll get a discount, a PS Plus discount on them. How are they compensated for that? It'd be interesting to.
You'd imagine it'd work some like how a platform pays for exclusivity, maybe. Like because Binding of Isaac came out on PS Plus the day it was released, so you'd imagine they'd pay a big fat lump sum, a one-off sum to the developers and publishers, and then maybe that's the reason why you only get to vote on games, like I say, not the big headline games.
But I mean, are these games actually out? Like, can you buy these games now? Because from watching
not sure.
Well, this is like from watching, going on the PlayStation website, you can watch the 3 trailers for the films, and it is very much done like a Kickstarter thing where they're like, oh yeah, like this is our game, this is our trailer, I'm Owen, I made this,
really?
Vote for us and let's see what's going on. So I don't actually think these games. Maybe they have been made, but they're not out yet.
That makes a lot of sense. That sort of answers my query, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
About them not being sold this month.
Yeah, because that would be a problem. That, like you said, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think that's genuinely a really good thing. It's a really cool idea, and I'm glad they've sort of continued with it, or will hopefully continue with it.
Yeah, I like it. I'm interested in see like the months that transpire after this to see what other kind of not as well known potential companies or games are brought out.
It's a nice little bit of market research as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Game as well. Yeah.
Really cool.
Very cool.
I think we can move on from there. I think that we pretty much covered that. Like I say, we need someone to die, don't we? Really.
Jesus.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the segment of the podcast we call "You Can't Teach a Null Dog Old Trick." You can't teach a null dog old tricks. So yeah, last week these guys recommended to me a game that I don't know whether you guys have heard of it. It's fairly sort of it's reclusive, to be honest. Metal Gear Solid. I mean, I've never heard of the fucking thing before. So
quite obscure.
Indeed, by some guy called Konami. Have you heard of him before?
He works for Kojima, right?
That's the one. Yeah. But yeah, so I played Metal Gear Solid, and I got to the bit where I haven't gotten very far. I've gotten to the bit with the. I forgot.
You failed us.
I know I have.
You know, it's the best game on PlayStation. 100%.
Spyro
For
2.
PlayStation 1.
Spyro 2 is on PlayStation, so we'll disagree with
Spyro
that
2.
But yeah, so I played Metal Gear Solid, and I got to the boss. I think it's the first boss. Tank guy with the crow on his head.
Tank Man, yeah.
Tank man, that's the one. Yeah, big tank fucker.
He's not the first boss. Don't you do Revolver Ocelot first?
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, which one's he?
Revolver Ocelot, where you have to
He's the one
keep
that looks
walking
like
around
Phil
in a
Weston.
square.
That's it.
He's-
Yeah. So yeah, I got to the big tank fucker, and I did. No, I'm not gonna lie. It was difficult for me to play, and simply because it wasn't difficult for me to play in terms of gameplay. I was surprised actually that because knowing how old it actually is, how easy it was to play, and I can understand why people say that it changed everything, because the control scheme still works today. But it was just, I mean, for a start, the resolution on my screen on the Mac was a little bit too small. I had to sort of lean in to play it, and the graphical style, I totally understand, and I agree with that. Where graphics don't make a game, but it was difficult at times. I couldn't really get immersed. I think it's because I'm so used to being able to make out the expression
reactions.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel quite dirty for saying that, but it's true. But I enjoyed what I played of it. I don't know whether I'll keep playing it, but I can say that I have played Metal Gear Solid now, so that's ticked off the fucking list.
I'd say playing it and
as a
completing
pe-
it are
as a-
two different things.
Yeah, that's
Entirely.
true. This is true.
As a piece of gaming history, though, I'm glad you got to play it, and I think you must have been able to see like it. I think it was the very first modern video game.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing like that before, and I think you can tell. Like I said last week, you can see how gaming ended up as it is, and I think you can trace that back to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Well, I think a good comparison to be made. I don't know when this came out, and it's not the same game at all. But a couple months back, maybe even over a year back now, I played System Shock 2.
You know, there's a patch for that to remove the spiders from the game.
Oh really?
So I might play it now.
That bit was fucking annoying.
What game's this?
System Shock 2. It's like it's what Ken Levine's team worked on before Bioshock.
Yeah, Bioshock was the spiritual sequel to System Shock.
Indeed. But yeah, in a lot of ways, those two games sort of, you can see how they changed the industry in a lot of ways. It's particularly the way they tell a story. My phone keeps flashing at me and it's fucking irritating. Especially from a narrative perspective. Like, I still think the reveal of Showdown is probably one of the best moments in a video game ever, as far as I can remember. And I didn't even play it at the time. Oh, you haven't played it, you just said.
I played it, yes. Showdown's scary, right?
Yeah.
Fucking bit, yeah.
Fucking terrifying. And I've lost my train of thought now. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is, and you guys said that it's sort of, the voice acting's a bit hammy, but I thought it was pretty good actually. It is very action.
No, yeah, that's sort of what I meant. I didn't mean hammy in the same way Resident Evil 2 is.
Right.
Yeah, maybe the script is what I meant more than the.
Yeah, it's very sort of Dolph Lundgren movie type thing.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Yeah. Do you know what I would recommend to you, Chris? Maybe not now, but at some point, maybe try playing Metal Gear Solid 3.
Everybody says that's the best one.
Yeah.
Snake Eater, yeah. And the reason I say that is because so it's more of a modern take, so it's obviously a bit more playable than the original is. The graphics look like actual things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know you don't like using your imagination when you're playing games, Chris. But also the storyline is self-contained.
Right.
So it's useful if you've played the other games, but actually because Metal Gear Solid 3 is a prequel, it's set in the past, so it's sort of, you can play it as its own. And
Right.
it's, yeah, maybe try that one day.
But yeah, have you guys decided what I should be playing this next week?
They've just announced that they're remaking Resident Evil 2, which is, as far as I'm concerned, is the best in the series.
Controversial.
Resident Evil 4 is really good, but they're sort of different games to me. They've got nothing in common, have they? The Resident Evil 4 is more action, third-person shooter. compared to the old styles, I think Resident Evil 2 is the peak of the series. So I'm excited to see how the remake goes. I hope they keep it in line with the Resident Evil HD and the Resident Evil Zero HD, rather than changing it to be more actiony like the more modern Resident Evils.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played it, Chris, my suggestion is Resident Evil 2. It is a classic, but also the controls are terrible, the graphics are terrible, the voice acting is rubbish, the script is rubbish. There's loads of backtracking.
You're selling it to me, mate, I tell you.
Well, no, I'm just. I think you'll fucking hate it, and I'd really love to get your opinion on it.
Right.
Because it's really weird. So in the remake, they added analog control, so it was a bit more modern. But I found myself just switching it back to tank controls. It just seems to, when it's like fixed camera angles or that, tank controls seem to make sense. So when you press up, you're always going to be going forward, and it doesn't matter where the camera is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should try it. Have you played any Resident Evils?
I've played.
You're gonna say something shit because you've always played the shittest game in the series. You're like, oh, I played Resident Evil 6.
No, I haven't played. I avoided that on reviews. I played 5, and I really liked 5 a lot. It seems to be the one that gets a lot of. I mean, after 6, it seems to be 5 that gets slated a lot. But I really liked it.
Have you played Resident Evil 4?
I haven't played 4, and I really want to.
See, no, if you had played 4, you wouldn't like 5.
Right. So I remember I was playing through 5, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. And then I spoke to my friend about it, and he says if you complete the game, you get a Magnum with infinite ammo in it. I was like, that will make the game so much better. So I completed it, and then completed it again afterwards, and it was so much better when I had infinite ammo.
Wow.
There's some games where it's like, make me the most powerful cunt in the room. Please. Sometimes I don't want a challenge from games. Sometimes I want to be a walking power fantasy. Okay, guys, I've had to cut the recording short there. Literally, there's about 3 minutes left anyway, where we just do the outros and stuff. Basically, the file corrupted or something on my Mac, and it's just a load of inaudible mess, which is, on reflection, what the podcast is, essentially. But do bear with us on that, guys. We are still novices when it comes to stuff like this, especially me. I mean, I do the majority of the editing. Well, I do pretty much all of the editing for the podcast. Dan does the video editing for YouTube, but which is actually brilliant. It's just the audio editing which is proving to be a little bit difficult. But like I say, bear with us, guys. We do hope to improve in every way for the future, because it's certainly something we're looking to continue doing. But yeah, like I say, bear with me 3 minutes whilst I just plug a few people, and we've got a great song at the end, so please stay tuned for that. So first, I'd like to thank Whoa Mama for providing the intro music you heard at the beginning there. That's WHOAMAMA. Brilliant band, guys. Absolutely brilliant. You can check them out on Facebook, YouTube. They've got a SoundCloud account as well. Just stunning. Absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to hearing more from them. Also like to thank Samuel Wigmore for providing the intro music for Newell Dog Old Tricks. Still missay that one from time to time. Sam is actually apparently a very prominent speedrunner. You can find him on Twitch. That's Loserkid, and that's spelt LO5ERKID, all one word. Yeah, check him out, guys. He's apparently really good. I will check him out. I promise you, Sam, I will check you out. Also, just, like us on Facebook. Well, not even like us on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. Basically, we've got a Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Twitter account. Check us out on there, guys. Like I say, we've got a lot of really cool content coming for YouTube. So you're going to have to wait until I get some better video editing software. But we definitely have got some really sort of ambitious ideas in the pipeline, and we can't wait to show you guys. So, I mean, like us on Facebook and Twitter, because that's where the majority of the material is going to be sort of thrown out there, and that's where we're going to tell you about it. And even if you don't want to like and subscribe, that's totally fine. Just give us some feedback, tell us how we can improve, what we're doing wrong and stuff, and it's all really appreciated. And yeah, thanks for listening very much, guys. It's great just to have one person listening to this and thinking it's okay. So to have, I don't know what we're up to subscribers wise. I think it's 8 or 9, which doesn't seem like much, but it's still a big deal. The fact that people like us enough to actually subscribe on somewhere like YouTube or give us a like on Facebook, it's brilliant. But yeah, that's about it really, guys. And to play us out this week, I have what is now one of my favourite songs of all time. A few of you probably recognise it from the Bloodborne trailer that was before E3, I believe. But it's a fantastic song. Every morning this is in my head constantly. So yeah, this is Alt J with Fitz Pleasure.
Tra la la tra la tra la la tra la la tra la tra la, la, tra, la, tra, la, tra, la, la, tra, la, tra, la, tra.
In your snatch is pleasure, boom, she pleasure. Deep greedy, googling every corner. Men the queue to be the next. Fingers ring, la 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 leader. Cute jumpers, rock fears, they are scissors. La 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 linger flowers. The choir in your who flies a heartland with the tempo. Our treasure, pleasure, leisure, leisure, it's all in your eyes. In your snatch with pleasure, a boom, cheap pleasure.